and I am a Girl Scout, and for my Gold Award, I've done a two-part project. The first part you guys kind of just saw was a documentary series featuring inspirational women who have broken glass ceilings in their chosen professions. And then my second part of my project, I wrote a fairy tale book, and I'll see here actually. And in fairy tales, I've noticed that a lot of the times it's the guy or the prince that saves the princess, but I wanted to kind of put a little twist on it, and so my fairy tale is about a girl, well, you'll see, but she saves herself, and she saves the people in her kingdom, or her queendom, I should say. So, yeah, I think let's just get into it. So it's called Lena's Quest, and obviously I'm the author, and some of the girls here actually, Addie and Ingrid and Lily, they're some of the illustrators. So yeah. So the first page just says believe in yourself. I just think it's a good reminder. Let's just get to it. Once upon a time, long, long ago, there lived a wise and wonderful queen named Marie. Queen Marie had the great fortune of adopting 4 wonderful daughters. The oldest was Lucille, followed by Mary, Guinevere, and the youngest Lena. Queen Marie's queendom was a very special place. All of the other lands were taught that the most important thing was how they looked. They were taught that they needed to depend on a prince or a man instead of learning how to take care of themselves. Queen Marie's queendom was different. In Queen Marie's queendom, girls were taught that their looks weren't everything. They learned to be open to new and different ideas, things, and people. The princesses were taught to stand up for themselves and for what they thought was right. All of the girls in the queendom went to school. They dressed in comfortable, practical clothes and sneakers instead of only gowns and heels. The girls played sports and ran with passion, ran up mountains swiftly, and climbed rocks with ease. They learned how to invent useful things like timekeeping devices and how to build and sail a boat. In school, they learned how to run a peaceful, safe, and industrious queendom and how to defend themselves. All of the children, both boys and girls alike, were taught these valuable lessons. Everything was going well except for one problem. Queen Marie's youngest daughter, Princess Lena, cared only about her looks and not her studies or contributing to the queendom, even though she was always told, it doesn't matter what you look like on the inside, on the outside, it's what matters on the inside. Lena still cared only about her looks more than anything else. Sadly, as the years went by, Princess Lena cared more and more about her appearance and less about her schooling and duties in the queendom. Nevertheless, Queen Marie threw a birthday ball for Princess Lena's 16th birthday. Lena's assistants worked for hours, getting her ready for the ball, styling her hair, and perfecting her makeup. Still, she did not like how she looked. "Redo it. I do not like it. Change it," Lena ordered. They tried again and again, but nothing could please Princess Lena. "Ugh, this is horrible. I do not like this at all. Change it again," complained Princess Lena. So they started over again and again and again. Suddenly, Princess Lena's fairy godfather, Poltrakuta, appeared standing on a bluish cloud. He said to her, "I see you care a lot about your looks. I can make you the most beautiful person in all the queendom, but all magic comes with a price." Princess Lena said, "Yes, make me the most beautiful person in the entire queendom. I do not care about the price." When she finally looked in the mirror, she thought she looked amazing and good enough to impress her wonderful guests. Sadly, Princess Lena did not care about who she danced with, as long as they were rich and handsome. She didn't even care if they were nice. At last, Princess Lena walked down the stairs and into the ballroom with her very fancy hair and fancy dress. To her surprise, the ballroom was empty. As Princess Lena gazed around in shock, Poltrakuta appeared and said, "Now you are truly the most beautiful person in the queendom. You're also the only person in the queendom, but it doesn't matter, your wish is granted." "Where is everyone?" Lena cried out to her fairy godfather. "Didn't you wish to be the most beautiful person in all the land? Look around. I had my flying trolls take your family and all your guests away." "Oh no, what have I done? Bring them back, I changed my mind." "It's too late now," Poltrakuta said to Princess Lena. "You have everything you need to find them, but you cannot rely on your looks. You must use your intelligence and all the things you have been taught to save them." As Poltrakuta disappeared, a golden table appeared before Lena, with a glittering envelope floating above the table. The letter was from her sister Lucille, and it said this: "Using your precious jewelry and all of my timekeeping notebooks and sketches, you must make the most precise timekeeping device in the world." At the bottom of the note, it also said, "At exactly 12:46 p.m. and 38 seconds, a magical passageway will appear inside the trunk of the palace mulberry tree, but only for 1 second. At that exact second, you must travel through the passageway." Following what the note said to do, Princess Lena set to work making the most precise watch in the world. She used her intelligence, her sister's notebooks, and all the things she had learned in school to make this remarkably accurate watch. When the watch read exactly 12:46 p.m. and 38 seconds, Lena leapt into a glowing magical doorway that appeared inside the trunk of the mulberry tree. Once inside, she found a second floating and glittering envelope. This letter was from her sister Mary, who was very skilled at designing boats and other seaworthy structures. It said, "When you get through the passageway, you will be on a magical beach. You must build a sturdy boat. There will be boat building tools and materials waiting for you on the beach. You will also see all of your beautiful gowns. You will need to use your gowns for the sails of the boat, or you will not be able to save us. At exactly 32 minutes and 41 seconds after sunrise, take the boat out to sea and head north toward the magical island of Drea." Just as she did before, Princess Lena followed what the letter told her to do. She studied her sister's books and used her tools and supplies left on the beach to build a very strong boat using her beautiful dresses as the sails. At exactly 32 minutes and 41 seconds after sunrise, Lena sailed off towards the magical island of Drea. With the island in Lena's view, a third magical envelope appeared floating over the bow of the boat. The third letter was from her sister Guinevere, and it was more of a riddle because this sister was very clever at making riddles. It said, "Getting past the singing mermaids will take more than wealth. You must give them something of yourself." As Lena sailed towards the island, she saw singing mermaids blocking her way. She noticed that one of the mermaids was not singing and looked sad. When she looked closer, she saw that this mermaid did not have any hair. Lena felt bad for her, and without hesitation, she thought, "I can give her my hair." Suddenly, a pair of golden scissors appeared on a silver table. Her hair was once her greatest pride and joy, but Lena gladly cut it all off to be able to help this sad, silent mermaid. The moment she handed the mermaid her long flowing hair, the mermaid smiled and began singing. Suddenly, the mermaids parted and formed a pathway for Lena to sail through. As Lena approached the shore, one last glittering envelope note magically dropped into her hands. This final note was from her mother, Queen Marie. It said, "Kick up your heels when you reach the beach, my darling. Run like the wind and climb like a goat up the very first mountain you see." So she kicked off her fancy shoes and ran up the mountain. As she ran, she thought of all that she had accomplished. A smile spread across her face. She thought about all the riddles and problems that she had solved, and she felt stronger than ever before. She ran like the wind up the mountain. Suddenly, at the top of the mountain, Princess Lena saw flying trolls singing and dancing in the air. When she looked closer, Princess Lena saw her sisters and her mother standing with open arms on the top of the mountain. They were welcoming her into what looked like a grand party. In fact, it was. It was actually a birthday party for Princess Lena. "Happy birthday, Lena," her mother said. "You did it. The people believed in you. You trusted yourself and used your skills, talents, and all that you have learned to get here. How do you feel?" Lena looked at her dirty skin, tattered clothes, bare feet, and uneven hair and smiled. "I feel better than I ever have in my whole life. I feel proud of myself and what I can accomplish. I'm looking forward to a bright future." With that, she sat down and ate a huge piece of her birthday cake. The end. These are all of the illustrators. There's a couple more on the other page, but these are all of the illustrators, so I'm just going to go through and kind of talk a little bit about each one of them, because I think it's awesome what they've done. So the first one here, it goes like this, and then like this. So the first one on the top left is a girl named Melissa, and she loves to do art, and she's a cross-country and track runner. And her goal is to be an elementary school teacher when she gets older. And then the first page was a drawing that I did. And I love to make documentaries and hang out with my friends and do different sports, play different sports, I should say. And my goal is to be either a sports medicine doctor, or a physical therapist. The next page is done by Ingrid. She's over there. And she loves to play soccer and do theater, and she loves to read. And her goal is to be an actor, an artist, or a singer when she grows up. The next page down here is done by a girl named Nicole, and she loves to sing, dance, take photos, and she loves fashion. And her goal is to do something involved in the music industry, and she would like to also be a successful performer. The next girl right here, her name is Darren, and she enjoys cinematography, photography, and playing lacrosse. And her goal is to be in a place where she's really happy in her life when she gets older. The next one right here, on the bottom right, is done by a girl named Ava. And she loves to play soccer, she loves to read, she loves to do art and play the piano. And her goal is to be an environmental scientist when she gets older. Sabrina, where's Sabrina? There she is, in the back. She loves to do art and fold origami and play tennis. And she loves learning about animals, and she loves to play the piano. And she wants to be an animal rights activist when she gets older. Lily, over there, she did the next page, and she loves going to the beach, playing with her friends, being with her friends and family, playing volleyball. She loves to watch movies, and she loves to paint. And her goal is to be either a children's doctor, or something in the business field. The next page is done by Alex, and she loves to draw, bike ride, read, and swim. And her goal is to be a famous artist. Noelle is the next page, and she loves to read and play the harp, and she wants to be a vet when she gets older. Addie is the next one right there, in the middle. She loves to sing and act, and she also loves to make movies on her iPad. And she wants to be either a singer and or actress when she gets older. Tessa is in the back there, and she loves to read and hang out with her friends and family, and she also loves to make documentaries and play tennis. And she either wants to be an architect, psychologist, or lawyer. And then the last two girls, this one here, her name is Melanie, and she loves to swim, horseback ride, do art, and knit. And she wants to be an actress or a doctor in the future. And the last page of the birthday celebration is done by another girl named Alyssa, and she loves to fold origami, and she's also on the swim team, which she really enjoys. And she wants to be a doctor, either a physician or something to do with clinical research. And that's it. And then here, it's just a dedication page, and it says, "This book is dedicated to all the women who came before us and made it possible for girls to make their goals a reality." On the very last page, there's just information about the project, more specifically about the documentary. And then down here is a little acknowledgement that I think I'll read. Miss Smigla would like to thank her sister Tessa for her help with the design of the book and her support on this project. She would also like to thank Chris Whitaker for being her mentor, as well as Lisa Moore and Corinne Bordeaux for being her fearless Girl Scout leaders for over a decade. She appreciates Tessa, Michelle Wolf, John Clages, and Jack Widman for their help in proofreading and editing the copy. And finally, she would like to thank her grandma Pat for being there from the very start. And last but not least, she would like to thank her parents for their constant love and support. So that's I also have the website. On the left here, you have just a little bit about the people that I interviewed for the documentary series that I did. And then on the right, you have the cover of the book that you can see, and then there's a documentary section. So this is just the page with all the documentaries listed. So I interviewed Lisa Ling, as most of you guys saw when you first came in. I also interviewed a lieutenant at the Los Angeles Police Department named Amada Tingrides. I also interviewed Pamela Eels O'Connell, and she is a television producer and writer for a bunch of different shows, including Zack and Cody, Jessie, The Nanny, Married with Children, and a bunch of other ones. I interviewed Laura Danley, who's an astronomer and academic, and who founded the Women's Science Forum and she's also the curator at the Earth Observatory. And I also interviewed Sabrina Kemeny, who was one of the co-inventors of the camera in the iPhones and iPads, which is kind of cool because I filmed all of the interviews on iPhones and iPads, so I thought that was really cool. Also Beth Fukumoto, who is a state representative in Hawaii, and she's also the youngest female caucus leader in the US, which is really cool. And so yeah, we already saw some of these ones, some of the Lisa Ling ones, so I think this one could be really interesting. So I'll just show you like a little bit of the beginning. So can you state your name and your job title?
My name is Imada Tingarides, and I'm a lieutenant for the Los Angeles Police Department, currently working at 77th Street Patrol Division.
When you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was younger, I actually started off wanting to be either a lawyer, a teacher, or a police officer.
Can you tell us about your mom and where were you born and where you grew up?
My mom actually had me at a very young age. My mother was 15 years old when I was born. And I actually was born on the steps of my mother's high school. And it's a pretty compelling story considering no one in our family knew that my mother was pregnant. So she had a tough time as a young girl hiding a pregnancy and then having a child when she was such a child herself.
And where did you grow up?
I grew up in the city of Los Angeles, primarily in the city of Watts and South Los Angeles.
Can you talk about what your relationship with your mother is like?
My mother is an amazing woman. She is my hero. For someone to have a child when they're just a child themselves and have the accomplishments that she has only taught me to be a stronger and better person. My mother was able to go back to college after having me and get her master's degree. She became a nurse practitioner in OBGYN to help other young moms achieve their goals in life. She also teaches at a university. She volunteers. She salsa dances. She is literally my hero.
So that's just like a little sneak peek of one of them. But they're all really amazing women. They're all super inspirational, and I think you guys should definitely check them out if you want to learn a little bit more about these women. And then also there's a page for the book, and it's just a little bit about me and a synopsis of the book, and then another place where you can buy the book. And then also there's a little page about Tessa and I actually, and just a little bit about us, and yeah. And then there's also a contact page if you guys want to contact us about anything regarding the documentaries or the book. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
Is there any questions?
Do you guys have any questions or anything?
Yeah. What's your question?
Never mind.
Okay.
You have a question?
Yeah.
How long did it take you from beginning to thinking of the idea of the book to actually finishing it and printing?
Okay, so I started this Girl Scout project when I was a freshman in high school. I'm a junior now, so a couple years. And we actually just got back, I think this past week, we just got back the new copies of the book, which are the paperback ones. And so yeah, it's taken a couple years with like the writing and the designing of the book and everything like that. Yeah.
Can you talk about why this topic for you? Like what brought you to this?
Yeah, so I think in our society today, I guess you could say, like one major aspect of it is girls and just women in general are so underestimated in their capabilities, and girls, I think, should have a lot of self-confidence, and I think hopefully that this project will help them with that. And I just think it's really important, and I think that this project will really help step forward, take a step forward with it. Yeah. What's your question?
Okay, now I have a question.
also the idea for this book? Like, what made you think of?
So kind of like what I was just saying, or earlier I should say, a lot of the fairy tales in Disney that you hear about are about a guy or a prince saving the princess, or the girl has to depend on the guy. But I think that shouldn't be how it is, so I decided to write this book that way. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you go about securing interviews with these inspirational women?
So some of them I knew personally through friend connections, and then other ones like Lisa Ling. Her daughters go to a preschool that I used to go to, so I was able to connect with her through that. Beth Fukumoto, the politician, we just emailed her, and luckily she was in the LA area. So yeah, and then also Amada Tingrides, the lieutenant. I also knew her through a friend connection. Yeah.
Chloe, was there a common thread or a theme that you saw running through most of the interviews with these accomplished women?
All of the women dealt with their obstacles in a different way, and you'll hear about that in the interviews. I think one of the common threads through all of the women was that they all were really hard workers, and they all knew what they wanted, and they didn't stop till they got to where they wanted. So that was really inspirational to hear. Yeah.
Are there any women that you wanted to interview that either you couldn't, they didn't apply, they said no?
There was actually one woman. Her name is Shonda Rhimes. She's the writer of Grey's Anatomy and all those amazing TV shows. And we asked her, but she was unfortunately unable to because she's so busy. But I will be sending her an email in the future, and hopefully she'll be able to do it then. Yeah.
Who else is on that bucket list of who you would like to interview?
Oh, another woman who's, we emailed her, but we haven't heard back yet. Elizabeth Warren, Senator. So hopefully we'll be able to get her as an interview in the future, in the near future. Yeah.
Chloe, who were some of your inspirations for Lena, or perhaps the book of people in your life?
I think being adopted was definitely a really big aspect of it because, like I said in the book, all the girls are adopted. So I think that's really interesting that kind of shows through with the book. Also, I think just like the message that the book sends and the message that I want to get out, being that girls don't have to rely on a guy, their looks aren't everything. Messages like that, I think, also shown through the book. Yeah.
I have one.
Yeah.
Okay, so in all of your interviews, was there something that surprised you that you were like, wow, I didn't, some insight that you got?
Yeah, there's so many. I have to think of one. I think the way that Laura Danley, in the interview, you hear her talk about how none of the guys wanted to work with her on any projects, but that was fine with her, and she wrote them herself. I thought that was really interesting that she realized, like, these guys don't want to work with me, so I'll just go do it myself because I don't need them. So that was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
One more.
Yeah.
So when are you going to write your next inspirational book?
I'm not sure. Hopefully, maybe sometime soon. I'm not sure.
You need to rest a little bit.
Thank you. Do you guys have any questions? Oh, okay, that's a good question. So the kids here, I have a question for you guys. What are some of your goals? What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do when you get older? Yeah. That's so cool, just like Amada, right? Very cool. Yeah, what do you want to do?
Same as Charlie.
That's awesome. That's a very good goal. Yeah, what do you want to do now?
I want to be an astronaut.
Whoa, that's so cool. Yeah.
I want to be an orthopedic surgeon.
Wow, that's awesome. I think you're definitely yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I love your jacket. It says, I believe in girl power. Yeah, what do you want to do, Jude?
I like to be a chef.
Oh, very cool. I took a cooking class this year.
Any type of chef.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for coming. parents would let their kids have one.